"License and registration," Officer Mercer snaps, flashlight cutting across Jennifer's face. Blue lights flood the empty street at 11:47 p.m., and her hands stay high on the wheel. "Why am I being stopped?" she asks. His jaw tightens. "You ask too many questions." Jennifer swallows. "My registration is in the glove box." I'm reaching slowly. He steps closer. One hand hovers near his weapon. The other taps the window hard. "Move when I tell you." A car slows across the street. Someone watches. Pause for a second. "Would you speak up or keep driving?" Jennifer opens the glove box 2 inches. Paper edges show. Mercer jerks back like he sees a threat. "Don't," he shouts. "I told you where it is," she says, voice shaking now. Then everything breaks. His arm rises. A blast tears through the silence. Jennifer drops against the door. Across the street, a phone lifts into the air. But who is filming, and what did they catch? What happens next shocked the entire block. And if you enjoy stories like this, make sure you're subscribed. And let us know where you're watching from. Hands up now. Mercer screams, even though Jennifer is already folding sideways against the seat. The horn blares under the weight of her body. Blue and red lights keep flashing across the windshield, turning the whole stop into a stage. Across the street, the person with the phone starts running closer. "I did what you said," Jennifer whispers. Her voice is thin, shocked, fighting to stay steady. Mercer backs away 2 steps, breathing hard. She reached fast. He shouts toward his radio. Possible weapon. But there is no weapon in sight. Only loose papers slipping from the half-open glove box onto the floor mat. A woman on the sidewalk yells, "She told you she was getting her registration." Pause for a second. If you saw this with your own eyes, would you stay silent? Mercer points at the gathering crowd. "Get back." Jennifer's shaking hand searches for her phone. Her screen lights up once. She taps one name, Ethan. But who is Ethan, and why that name? Jennifer's phone slips from her fingers and hits the pavement face up, the cracked screen still glowing beside the open door. Mercer keeps his gun trained on her like the danger is still inside the car. "Do not move." He barks. His voice shakes now. The crowd hears it. A man in a gray hoodie starts recording from 5 feet away. Another woman kneels behind a parked car and cries, "She needs help." Jennifer tries to answer, but blood spreads across her blouse and steals the air from her chest. Her lips move once. No sound comes out. Mercer grabs his radio. Shots fired. Suspect down. The words, "Land hard." Suspect. Down. Like Jennifer is no longer a person. Then the woman with the phone yells, "Her hands were empty." Mercer turns toward her. "Back up now." Jennifer forces one breath, then another. Her eyes drift to the phone on the ground. Ethan's name still glows on the screen. Did the call go through or not? Sirens stack over Mercer's cruiser within seconds, but the street turns louder before help even arrives. More doors open. More people step onto porches. More phones rise into the night. Jennifer lies half in the car, half out, her cheek pressed to the cold pavement. Blood runs past the white lane line. "Stay with me." The woman behind the parked car shouts. Mercer looks at Jennifer's phone, then at the crowd, then back at the glove box like he needs it to save him. "I saw her reach," he says again. But nobody answers him the way he wants. A teenage boy edges closer and zooms in on the registration papers scattered near Jennifer's feet. One paper shows her full name, Jennifer Cole. Then a voice cuts through the noise from the cracked phone on speaker. Low, male, sharp. "Jennifer?" Mercer freezes. The voice comes again, louder this time. "Jennifer, answer me. Who was on that phone? And why does Mercer suddenly look afraid?" "Jennifer?" The voice says again through the phone. Calm at first, then harder. "Talk to me." Mercer stares at the screen like he knows the name on the other end matters. He takes one step forward, then stops when the man in the gray hoodie swings his camera toward him. "You heard that?" The woman near the curb shouts, "Somebody's on the line." Jennifer drags in a broken breath. Her fingers twitch once against the pavement. "Ethan," she whispers, barely louder than the sirens closing in. Then the first ambulance turns the corner. Red lights wash over the houses. 2 medics jump out and rush toward her, but Mercer throws out an arm and starts talking fast. "She reached. I warned her. I had no choice. The crowd erupts. A medic drops to one knee beside Jennifer. Another grabs the phone and looks at the screen. His face changes in an instant. What name does he see? And why does everything shift the next morning? 9 hours earlier, Jennifer sits across from a scared 16-year-old boy in a narrow office at Westbrook Youth Legal Aid. His knee bounces under the table. A shoplifting charge hangs over him because a store manager says he looked guilty. Jennifer slides the report back across the desk and taps one line with her finger. They never found the item on you, she says. So stop talking like your life is already over. The boy blinks. You think I can beat this? I think they count on you being afraid. Outside her office, phones ring and printers hum, but Jennifer stays locked in. She calls the public defender, pushes back on the charge, and gets the hearing moved before noon. The boy's mother starts crying from relief. Then Jennifer's desk phone lights up with another call. Home. She answers, still standing. Her mother does not say hello. Jennifer, I heard Officer Mercer asked about you again. Why is he still asking questions she never invited? Jennifer closes the office door before answering. Mama, who told you that? Her mother lowers her voice like Mercer might hear through the walls. Ms. Pauline from the church. Her nephew works dispatch. He said that officer keeps bringing up your name. Jennifer looks through the glass at the waiting area. The boy she just helped is hugging his mother. For 1 second, she lets herself breathe. Then the pressure comes back. He's trying to scare me, she says. He's a police officer, her mother shoots back. Men like that do more than scare. Jennifer leans against the desk. I filed the complaint because he shoved a teenager into a cruiser for asking a question. I watched it happen. I signed my name because nobody else would. Her mother goes quiet. Then she says, Baby, being right does not keep you safe. Jennifer picks up her bag and keys. Being silent never kept anybody safe either. But who else has Mercer decided needs to be taught a lesson? Jennifer ends the call and steps into the hallway, but her friend Tasha is already waiting near the copy machine, arms folded, reading her face too fast. That was your mother, Tasha says. So what happened now? Jennifer keeps walking. Mercer asked about me again. Tasha follows her toward the front door. That man has a problem with any woman who does not flinch. Jennifer signs out for lunch and lowers her voice. Some days I feel him before I see him, like he wants me to know he is around. Tasha stops cold. Then go public. Not yet, Jennifer says. If I move too soon, he turns this into my word against his badge. A black and white cruiser rolls past the building at that exact moment. Slow, deliberate. Jennifer does not look up, but Tasha does. He knows where you work, Tasha says. Jennifer grips her keys tighter. He wants me to know that. But how long has Mercer been watching her before this day even starts? Across town, Mercer sits in the station break room with one boot on a chair and a paper cup in his hand. 2 officers laugh at something on a phone, but Mercer is stuck on one name in a thin complaint file, Jennifer Cole. He taps the cover once and smirks. This one thinks she knows her rights. One officer shrugs. So let internal affairs deal with it. Mercer shuts the file. People like her file one complaint and start walking around like they run the city. The room goes quiet when Chief Ellis steps in. He sees the file in Mercer's hand and closes the door behind him. My office. Now, Mercer follows, still holding the cup. Ellis waits until the door shuts. You have already had 2 warnings this year. Mercer sets the cup down. For doing my job, Ellis points at the file. For making noise, I cannot keep cleaning up. Mercer smiles without warmth. Then maybe she should have kept quiet. What exactly happened between Mercer and Jennifer before tonight? 3 weeks earlier, Jennifer stands outside Monroe Market with her phone in her hand and anger still rising in her chest. A 17-year-old boy leans against the patrol car, shaken, while Mercer snaps, "Keep your eyes down." Jennifer steps closer. He asked why you stopped him. That is not a crime. Mercer turns slowly, then keep walking. Instead, Jennifer records badge number, time, and location. The boy's wrists are red from the cuffs. Tell him why you searched him, she says. Mercer takes 1 step toward her. You want to make this your business? Jennifer does not move. It became my business when you put your hands on a child for asking one question. That night, she files the complaint under her full name. No anonymous tip, No hidden number. Jennifer Cole. Back in the present, she unlocks her car after work and sees a cruiser at the far end of the block. Mercer already knows exactly who she is, does he? Jennifer keeps her eyes on the cruiser at the end of the block and does not unlock her door right away. The engine idles. The headlights stay on. Then the car pulls off slow, like the driver wants her to know he was there if only for a second. She exhales once and gets in. Inside the station an hour later, Mercer drops into his chair and tosses a set of keys onto the desk. A younger officer named Ruiz glances at the complaint file still sitting near Mercer's elbow. "You still on that woman?" he asks. Mercer leans back. People like her always push until somebody pushes back. Ruiz studies him. "You ever think maybe internal affairs keeps burying your mess because they are tired, not because you are right?" Mercer's face hardens. "Careful." Ruiz looks away first. By sunset, Jennifer thinks she is being watched. By sunset, Mercer sounds like a man who has been protected before. How many times has he gotten away with this? Jennifer parks outside her mother's apartment just before 6 and carries 2 grocery bags up the stairs. Her mother opens the door before she can knock. "You took too long," she says, then lowers her voice when she sees Jennifer's face. "What now?" Jennifer sets the bags on the counter. "He was outside my office again." Her mother goes still. "You need to tell someone bigger than this town." "I am trying," Jennifer says, but every complaint goes back through people who protect him. A knock hits the door. Sharp, fast. Both women freeze. Jennifer checks through the peephole and sees Lena Brooks holding a notepad and a small recorder. Jennifer opens the door only halfway. "How did you find me?" Lena keeps her tone low. "Because 3 people told me Officer Mercer's name in one day." Jennifer's mother steps closer. "We do not need reporters." Lena nods once. "You need a record before somebody changes the story." Jennifer looks past her to the street below. Is Lena too late or right on time? Jennifer steps into the hall and pulls the door nearly shut behind her. Lena lifts the recorder but does not turn it on yet. "I am not here to trap you," she says. "I am here because Mercer's name keeps showing up next to the same kind of story." Jennifer folds her arms. "What kind of story?" Lena does not blink. "Stops that go too far. Reports that sound cleaner than witness accounts. People who back off because they think no one will believe them." Inside the apartment, Jennifer's mother is close enough to hear every word. Jennifer keeps her voice flat. "And if I talk, my mother gets dragged through comments, cameras, and every lie his friends want to tell." Lena slips a card into Jennifer's hand. "Then do not talk yet, but keep records, dates, times, cars. He is either reckless or he thinks nobody can touch him." Jennifer looks at the card, then at the street. Which one is worse? By 9:18 p.m., Jennifer is driving home with Lena's card tucked inside her wallet and her mother's warning still ringing in her ears. The streets are thinner now. Storefront lights blink off one by one. At a gas station near Fulton and Grant, Mercer's cruiser sits in shadow beside an ice machine. He sees Jennifer's sedan before she sees him. Mercer straightens, starts the engine, and watches her pass without moving. Then he picks up the radio. "Dispatch, run Nevada plate. Kilo Charlie 941. His voice sounds bored. "Routine. Clean." The answer comes back with her name, Jennifer Cole. Mercer repeats it under his breath and smiles once. "Copy." He waits 5 full seconds, then pulls into traffic behind her. Across the lot, a security camera points down from the corner of the building, catching his cruiser, her car, and the exact minute he decides to follow. Why does he wait so long before turning on the lights? Jennifer checks her rearview mirror at the red light and sees the same headlights 2 cars back. She tells herself not to panic. Then the light changes, traffic thins, and the cruiser closes the distance. 1 block later, blue lights explode across her back window. She grips the wheel. "No." Mercer speaks into the radio before stepping out. "Initiating stop. Minor lane violation." His words stay flat, but his eyes stay locked on her car, like he has been waiting for this exact moment all night. Jennifer pulls to the curb beneath a dead street lamp. No stores, no crowd, no easy witness. Mercer pauses beside his cruiser first. He adjusts his belt, looks once at her plate again, then walks forward slow. Inside the car, Jennifer reaches for her phone and sees Ethan's name in her recent calls from 2 days ago. Outside, Mercer's flashlight hits the driver's window. Was this ever about traffic, or did Mercer choose this road, this hour, and this stop for Jennifer alone? The ambulance doors slam shut, and Jennifer disappears behind glass and sirens. A medic presses hard against her wound, while another grabs the cracked phone from the floor. "Emergency shortcut triggered," he says, staring at the screen. One contact received the alert. Ethan Cole. 900 miles away, Ethan stands on a rain-soaked training field at 12:06 a.m. when his phone vibrates twice in his vest pocket. He almost ignores it. Then, he sees Jennifer's name and answers on the first ring. What comes through is not a full call. It is broken sound, sirens, a man shouting, Jennifer trying to breathe. Then one word, barely there. "Ethan." He stops moving. Around him, men keep running drills under floodlights. Orders keep flying. Mud splashes. None of it reaches him now. A second file loads on his screen by itself. Emergency audio saved. Ethan presses play again, slower this time. What exactly does Jennifer say before the recording cuts off? Ethan turns away from the field lights and listens with the phone pressed hard to his ear. The audio crackles. A man yells commands. Jennifer gasps once, then fights for another breath. In the middle of the noise, her voice breaks through. "He shot me." 3 words, small, clear, final enough to stop his blood cold. A trainer barks, "Cole, move!" Ethan does not answer. He opens the message details and sees her location stamp from 30 seconds after the emergency trigger. Westbridge, near Fulton. Then a news alert flashes across the top of his screen. Officer involved shooting under review. Female driver described as non-compliant. Ethan stares at the word, non-compliant. He knows that word. It shows up when someone wants the report written before the truth catches up. His hand closes around the phone until his knuckles turn white. The trainer reaches him now. What happened? Ethan lifts his eyes. They are flat, focused, different. My sister got shot. But what kind of man does someone become the moment he hears those words? Ethan leaves the field without asking permission. By 12:14 a.m., he is inside a dark equipment room with the door shut and Jennifer's location open on his screen. He calls the hospital first. No update. He calls the local station next. A desk voice tells him the case is active and gives him nothing. Then he sits still for 1 second too long and memory hits hard. He is 13 again, standing at a hospital bed with his father's hand wrapped weak around his wrist. Jennifer is 8, crying into their aunt's coat by the door. Their father looks at Ethan and says, "No matter where life takes you, you do not let her stand alone." Back in the present, Ethan opens his contacts. Marcus Reed answers on the second ring. No greeting. What is it? Ethan keeps his voice level. Jennifer was shot by a cop. They are already shaping the story. Marcus goes quiet. Then he asks one question. Do you want anger or truth? Ethan looks at the word non-compliant, still glowing on his screen. How do you answer when both are fighting inside you? Truth, Ethan says. The word comes out hard, like he has to force it past everything else rising in his chest. Marcus does not waste a second. Then listen to me carefully. No threats, no side calls. No one touches that officer. We move clean, and we move where cameras can see us. Ethan already has his laptop open. The local article is worse now. Female driver shot after failing to follow commands. No witness quotes, no body cam mention, just the same language people use when they want the public to fill in the blanks the wrong way. Marcus hears Ethan's silence. How bad? They started writing against her before the blood dried. A second line clicks in. Ruiz, the rookie officer from Mercer's station. He sounds nervous. I should not be calling you. Ethan's voice drops. Then make it count. Ruiz swallows hard. If your sister is Jennifer Cole, you need to get here before morning. Mercer knew her name before he left the car. Ethan closes his eyes once. If Mercer knew exactly who he was stopping, what does that make the shooting now? Ethan ends the call with Ruiz and starts dialing names he has not touched in months. No speeches, no panic, just facts. My sister was shot. The report is moving before the evidence. I need witnesses, not heroes. One by one, old teammates answer. No one asks for details twice. Marcus handles the other side. Vehicles, route, Arrival before sunrise. At 12:41 a.m., Ethan finally reaches Jennifer's mother. Her voice is wrecked. They took her into surgery. Ethan grips the edge of the table. I am coming. Do not do anything crazy, she says. He looks at Jennifer's emergency audio again, then at the article calling her non-compliant. I am doing the opposite. An hour later, Marcus walks into a private hangar with keys in one hand and a printed map in the other. 3 men are already there. Then 6. Then more. Quiet. Focused. No wasted movement. Ethan steps inside last. By dawn, 20 men will reach Westbridge in silence. When they arrive, will the town see protection or pressure? At 7:12 a.m., Mercer pulls into the station lot with coffee in one hand, and yesterday's report already settled in his mind. He expects the same thing he always gets. Quiet. Delay. Enough time for the version on paper to harden before the truth moves. Then he sees the SUVs. 4 black trucks line the curb across from the station. Then 2 more turn the corner. Doors open in sequence. Men step out in dark jackets and plain clothes. Not loud, not rushed, not hiding. They spread along the sidewalk with the kind of discipline that makes everyone else look careless. Mercer stops walking. Inside the lead SUV, Ethan steps out first. Marcus follows. Neither man speaks. Neither needs to. A patrol officer at the front desk presses both hands to the glass. Who are they? Mercer does not answer. Across the street, Lena Brooks lifts her phone and starts recording. Then one man near the coffee stand squints at Ethan and says, I know that face. Why does Mercer suddenly look like the report he wrote will not save him today? Lena steps off the curb without taking her phone down. Westbridge Police, 7:13 a.m., she says into the mic. 6 black SUVs, multiple unidentified men. No yelling, no weapons drawn. But every officer inside this building is watching. The front door opens. Chief Ellis comes out fast, tie half straight, face tight. Can I help you? He asks. Marcus answers before Ethan does. You can start by telling your people not to interfere with lawful observers. Ellis studies the line of men on the sidewalk. Observers. Correct, Marcus says. No one is entering your building without clearance. No one is touching your officers. We are here because evidence has a way of shifting when nobody is looking. That lands. Behind the glass, Mercer takes 1 step back. Across the street, more people stop. Phones rise. A woman whispers, This is about that shooting. Then the older man by the coffee stand points straight at Ethan. That is Ethan Cole. He was on national TV after that rescue in Syria. If the town knows Ethan now, how much harder does this get for Mercer? The name spreads through the crowd in seconds. Ethan Cole, a veteran, decorated. Local phones start sending his face across group chats before Ellis can pull the moment back under control. Mercer sees it happening through the station glass and feels the ground shift under him. Ellis lowers his voice. Mr. Cole, this is still an active investigation. Ethan meets his eyes, then act like one. No anger, no raised tone. That makes it worse. Lena moves closer. Chief, is it true the woman shot last night is his sister? Ellis does not answer fast enough. That silence answers for him. A murmur rolls through the sidewalk. One woman covers her mouth. Another says, Oh my God. Inside, Ruiz turns away from the front windows and mutters to another officer. He really did not know who she was connected to. Mercer hears that and snaps, Shut up. But it is too late. Outside, Ethan takes 1 step forward. For the first time, Mercer understands something simple. Jennifer was never alone. What happens when the whole town realizes that too? Ellis gestures toward the curb like he is still in charge of the space. You are creating a public problem. Marcus does not move. No, Chief. The shooting did that. We are making sure the evidence survives it. Lena swings her camera toward Ellis. Chief, has body cam been secured? He gives her nothing. This is not the time. That usually means no, she says. The crowd grows thicker. A barber from 2 blocks over walks up in his apron. A school bus slows at the light. Parents lean out of parked cars and stare at the line of silent men outside the station. Inside, officers stop pretending to work. One dispatcher whispers, If media gets national eyes on this, we are done. Mercer hears every word. Ethan finally speaks again. I want confirmation that hospital footage, dispatch audio, and every camera pull from last night are preserved. Ellis keeps his face still, but his jaw jumps once. What exactly is he afraid those cameras will show? Ellis glances back through the station glass, and Mercer makes the mistake of holding his stare too long. In that second, Ellis sees what he did not want to see. Not fear of outsiders, fear of the facts. We are following procedure, Ellis says. Ethan answers at once. Good. Then say it on camera. Lena does not miss that line. Neither does the crowd. A man near the curb asks, why would they need to say that, unless something is wrong? No one answers him. They do not need to. Mercer steps away from the window, but Ruiz is already watching him. So is every officer who heard him brag, shrug, and laugh too many times before this morning. The room feels smaller now. Outside, Marcus checks his watch. We will remain here. For how long? Ellis asks. Ethan's eyes never leave the building. Until the truth can walk out on its own. Across the street, Lena zooms in on Mercer's face through the glass. Now that everyone sees him, can Mercer still hide behind his badge? Lena leaves the station sidewalk at 8:03 a.m. and drives straight to the apartment block across from the shooting scene. She has one lead, gray hoodie, male, late 20s. She knocks on 3 doors before a woman on the second floor points her downstairs. Darnell, Unit 4. He has not stopped replaying it. Darnell opens the door with his phone already in his hand. You with the news? I am with the truth, Lena says. He studies her for 1 second, then lets her in. The video starts shaky, all streetlight and sirens, but Jennifer's voice comes through before the shot. Clear enough. My registration is in the glove box. I'm reaching slowly. Then Mercer's shout. Then the blast. Lena looks up. You did not post this. Darnell shakes his head. Cops came by at 6 this morning. Said videos online make cases messy. Lena's face hardens. Messy for who? She copies the file. If this clip gets out first, how fast does Mercer's story start falling apart? By 8:26 a.m., Lena sends the clip to 2 producers, 1 civil rights attorney, and her own backup drive before posting 12 seconds online. No intro, no opinion. Just Jennifer's voice, Mercer's shout, and the gunshot that follows. The caption is simple. She told him exactly what she was doing. The reaction hits fast. Comments pile up before the local department account even posts its first update. People freeze the frame, share the audio, repeat Jennifer's words back line by line. On Main Street, phones light up inside barbershops, classrooms, and checkout lines. By 9 o'clock, Westbridge is no longer arguing over whether something happened. The only question now is how bad it was. Inside the station, Ellis watches the clip once and shuts his office door. Mercer stands across from him. That video does not show everything. Ellis does not sit. It shows enough to make this dangerous. For me? Mercer asks. Ellis looks up slow. For all of us. If even Ellis hears the truth in that clip, what is he still trying to protect? At 9:14 a.m., Ethan walks into County General and finds his mother standing outside trauma surgery with both hands locked around her purse strap. She looks smaller than she did on the phone. Then she sees him and breaks. He catches her before she falls into him. No speech, no release. Just one long second where neither of them can afford to come apart fully. She is still in surgery, his mother says. They say she lost too much blood. Ethan nods once. She is still here. That matters. A nurse passes with a clipboard. A television in the corner plays the clip from Lena's account with the sound turned low. Jennifer's voice reaches them anyway, through the captions. I'm reaching slowly. His mother looks at the screen, then at him. Do not let this turn into rage. Ethan keeps his voice steady. It will turn into pressure. Marcus steps into the waiting room behind him, silent as ever, phone in hand. Mercer just changed one line in his statement. Ethan turns. What line does a guilty man change first? Marcus holds out his phone. First report says she reached without warning. Updated version says she made a sudden movement after verbal instruction. Ethan reads both lines once and hands the phone back. Same shooting, different wording, cleaner on paper, worse in truth. In the station conference room, Mercer sits with a union rep and wipes sweat from his palms onto his pants. I used the language they told me to use, he says. The rep leans forward. Then stop talking like there are versions. Mercer bristles. There are facts. Marcus, standing outside the room with Lena's latest post open on his screen, says quietly, "Facts do not keep changing." Ruiz hears that as he passes and slows down. He does not stop, but he drops one line under his breath. "Ask why body cam still is not logged." Marcus turns at once. "Still?" Ruiz keeps walking. Across the lobby, Ellis steps to a podium and clears his throat. The department has opened an internal review. Why announce a review now, unless something bigger is already slipping away? Questions hit Ellis before he finishes his first sentence. Reporters crowd the steps. Phones lift higher. "Chief, where is the body cam? Why was the witness video approached before release? Did Officer Mercer know Jennifer Cole before the stop?" Ellis raises one hand, but the room is already moving against him. "This remains under review," he says. "We ask the public not to rush to judgment. That makes it worse." Across the street, people boo. Lena keeps filming. "Chief, is the body cam secured or not?" Ellis looks toward the station doors for half a second too long. At this time, that footage is not available. The street goes still. Even Mercer looks up. At the hospital, Ethan's mother hears the update from a waiting room television and grips his wrist so hard it hurts. "Not available?" she says. How does footage from a cop disappear in one night? Marcus stares at the screen. If the body cam is gone, who moved first, and what are they trying to bury? At 10:22 a.m., Lena gets a message from a number she does not know. No name, no greeting, just one photo and one line. Check the report time. The image shows Mercer's incident file on a station screen. Time stamped, 12:03 a.m. Lena stares at it. Jennifer is still in surgery at 12:03. She calls the number at once. No answer. She sends one text back. "Who is this?" Nothing. Across town, Mercer slams a locker shut so hard the metal rings through the hallway. "Everybody is acting like I am on trial already," he snaps. No one answers him. Ruiz keeps his eyes on the floor. Another officer turns and walks away. In Ellis's office, the chief studies the same timestamp on a printed sheet. His mouth tightens. How do you write a clean narrative before the hospital even confirms her condition? No one in the room wants to answer that. If Mercer rushed the report before the facts came in, what was he trying to lock in first? Lena sends the timestamp image to a forensic editor she trusts, then drives straight to the gas station at Fulton and Grant. The manager is tired, annoyed, and ready to say no until she puts Mercer's name on the table. That changes everything. "You mean the officer from the shooting?" he asks. Lena nods. "I need to know whether he was there before the stop." 10 minutes later, they are both staring at the security feed in the back office. At 9:18 p.m., Mercer's cruiser sits parked beside the ice machine. At 9:19, Jennifer's sedan passes the lot. Mercer waits, then starts his engine, then follows. Lena leans closer. "Run that again." The manager does. Same result. Same timing. No traffic violation. No random patrol turn. Just Mercer sitting still until Jennifer appears. Lena takes out her phone and calls Ethan. He answers on the first ring. Her voice stays flat. He was waiting for her. If Mercer was already parked there watching, how does he explain calling it a routine stop now? Ethan steps out of the hospital waiting room to take Lena's call, and Marcus follows one pace behind. Lena does not waste time. Gas station footage puts Mercer in position before Jennifer even passed him. He sat there, ran her plate, then pulled out after her. Marcus hears every word. Ethan asks one question. "Can you lock the footage down?" "Already copied twice," Lena says. "And there is more. Someone inside the station sent me Mercer's report time. 12:03. Jennifer was still being worked on." Ethan looks through the glass at his mother sitting alone under the television. He wrote the story before the facts could fight back. When the call ends, Marcus checks his phone. An anonymous message has come through a secure line Ruiz used once before. Mercer hated her after the complaint, said she needed to be taught respect. Marcus turns the screen toward Ethan. Neither man speaks for a second. If Mercer saw Jennifer as a lesson instead of a citizen, what does that make last night now? Inside the station, Ellis closes his office door and leaves Mercer standing on the wrong side of it for the first time. Through the glass, Mercer can still see him talking to city attorneys. No one calls him in. No one waves him over. The message lands without words. Mercer pounds once on the door. You cannot hang this on me alone. Ellis opens it just enough to step into the hall. Then stop giving me new reasons to... Mercer laughs, but there is no strength in it. You signed off on my shift after the complaint. I tolerated noise, Ellis says. I did not approve a shooting. That hits hard. Mercer steps closer. You think distance saves you now? Ellis does not blink. It might save this department. Across the hall, Ruiz hears every word and keeps walking, face tight. At the hospital, a monitor suddenly spikes inside Jennifer's room. A nurse moves fast. Ethan is already turning. After all this pressure outside, is Jennifer finally about to say what Mercer never wanted heard? Ethan reaches Jennifer's bedside just as her eyes open for the first time since the shooting. The room feels smaller at once. Machines hum. Her lips are dry. Her face is pale, but she knows him. He leans in. Jen, I'm here. Her eyes move past him once, then back. She tries to lift a hand. He takes it carefully. You're safe, he says. Jennifer swallows hard. The effort costs her. No. She whispers. Not random. Ethan bends closer. Tell me. Her eyes fill, not with fear now, but with anger. A clear kind. Focused. He knew, she says. Ethan's grip tightens. Jennifer pulls in one thin breath and forces out the rest. He knew it was me. The words land heavier than any report, any video, any statement. A nurse rushes forward. That's enough. Jennifer's eyes start to close again. Ethan stays frozen beside the bed. If Mercer recognized her before he pulled the trigger, was this ever a traffic stop at all? By 1:07 p.m., every seat in the City Hall briefing room is full, and people are still standing along the back wall. Cameras crowd the center aisle. Reporters keep checking phones for updates. Outside, the sidewalk is packed. Inside, Chief Ellis steps to the podium with both hands flat on the wood, like he needs help standing still. This is a difficult and developing case, he says. We ask the public for patience while all facts are reviewed. That word again. Patience. Lena raises her hand before he finishes the sentence. He points somewhere else. She speaks anyway. Chief, was Officer Mercer ever disciplined after the complaint filed by Jennifer Cole 3 weeks ago? The room shifts. Ellis keeps his face stiff. Personnel matters are confidential. Lena does not sit. Then explain why a woman who announced she was reaching for registration ended up shot. Across the room, heads turn. Pens stop moving. Ellis takes one breath too long. When a room full of people hears silence instead of answers, who starts losing control first? Ellis clears his throat and reaches for the safe language again. The circumstances of the stop are still under investigation. That does not hold. Not in this room. Not anymore. Another reporter stands. Chief, when did you first learn body cam footage was missing? A third voice cuts in before he can answer. Was Officer Mercer aware Jennifer Cole had filed a complaint against him? Now, the questions are coming from every side. Ellis points at one camera crew and says, one at a time. But the pressure keeps climbing. At the back of the room, the side doors open. Ethan walks in with Marcus and 4 of the men who arrived that morning. No one speaks. They do not need to. Half the room turns on instinct. Ellis sees them and falters for the first time. Mercer is watching from a side office on a mounted television. He leans closer when Ethan appears. Then Lena asks the question Ellis cannot dodge. Chief, did Mercer know Jennifer before he pulled her over? The whole room goes still. If Ellis answers honestly now, who falls first, Mercer or the department itself? Ellis grips the podium harder. We are not here to discuss speculation. That word hits the room wrong. People start talking over each other at once. One reporter near the aisle says, it stops being speculation when the victim says he knew her. Another shouts, then release the body cam. Mercer hears that from the side office and slams his palm against the desk. A clerk near the door flinches. They are turning this into a circus. He mutters. No, the clerk says before thinking. You did. Back in the briefing room, Ellis tries to reset. This department is committed to transparency. A laugh breaks from the back row. short, sharp, angry. Then Jennifer's mother rises from her seat near the wall. No one expects it. Not Ellis, not Lena, not Ethan. She does not wait to be called on. My daughter told him where her papers were. She says, so why was she treated like a threat for obeying him? The room goes silent again. When a mother asks the one question no report can soften, who dares answer it? Jennifer's mother does not sit back down. Her hands shake, but her voice does not. You called her non-compliant before she even reached the hospital. You let that word spread while she was still fighting for her life. Every camera in the room swings toward her. Ellis tries to step in. Ma'am, I understand your pain. No, she says. You understand cameras. My daughter understood instructions. She followed them. That is why this room is full. A murmur rolls through the crowd. It is not sympathy now. It is anger finding shape. At the back, Ethan keeps his eyes on Ellis. Marcus watches the exits, the staff, the side door where Mercer has been hiding behind glass. Mercer sees Jennifer's mother on the monitor and looks away for the first time all day. Lena lifts her mic. Chief, will you confirm whether Mercer's report was filed before surgery updates came in? Ellis opens his mouth. Before he can answer, a uniformed technician rushes to the podium and leans into his ear. What did he just tell Ellis that drains the color from his face? Ellis does not answer right away. He stares at the technician like he wants the words taken back. Are you sure? He asks under his breath. The technician nods once. Partial recovery. Officer unit upload. Timestamp intact. Lena catches enough to move first. Chief, what was recovered? Ellis straightens, but the room already feels different. Tighter. Hungrier. The safe script is gone now. He looks at the cameras, then at Jennifer's mother, then past everyone to Ethan standing silent in the back. Part of the body cam footage has been recovered, he says. The room explodes. Reporters surge forward. Questions crash into one another. How much? From whose camera? Does it show the stop? Mercer jerks away from the television in the side office, like the words hit him in the chest. Ethan does not move. Marcus checks his watch once. If that footage survived after all, what exactly did Mercer think was gone forever? The recovered file opens at 2:16 p.m. in a locked conference room with Ellis, 2 city attorneys, Marcus, and 1 state investigator standing near the wall. Mercer is brought in last. He looks at the screen once, then at Ellis. You are really doing this? Ellis does not answer him. The video starts with road noise and flashing light across Jennifer's rear window. Mercer's voice comes first. Sharp, already heated. Then Jennifer, calm, clear, controlled. My registration is in the glove box. I'm reaching slowly. No one in the room moves. On screen, Mercer steps in too fast. His hand is already near his weapon before Jennifer touches anything. The attorney near Ellis lowers his eyes. Marcus keeps watching. Then Mercer's own voice comes through again, lower than before, not for dispatch, not for the report, for himself. Jennifer Cole. He knew. Mercer shifts in his chair. That does not prove anything. But if the camera catches recognition before the shot, what exactly is left of his story now? The room watches the next seconds without breathing. Jennifer opens the glove box exactly as she said she would. 2 inches, maybe 3. Paper edges show. Nothing else. Mercer jerks back first. Not from danger. From his own panic. Don't. He shouts. Jennifer's head turns toward him. I told you where it was. The shot comes almost on top of her words. One of the city attorneys shuts his notebook and pushes it away. The state investigator steps closer to the screen and rewinds the moment once. Then again, same result every time. Warning given. Movement explained. No weapon. No threat. Just fear meeting power with a gun already waiting behind it. Mercer leans forward. You are slowing it down to make it look bad. Marcus speaks for the first time since the video started. No, we are slowing it down because you sped the truth up. Ellis closes his eyes once. If even Mercer's own camera turns against him, who can still stand beside him now? Ellis opens his eyes and looks at Mercer like he is seeing him clearly for the first time. Not as a problem to manage, not as a complaint to soften, as a liability with blood on his hands. Mercer sees the shift and stands too fast. His chair drags hard across the floor. You are folding because of politics, he says. Ellis stays seated. I am folding because of evidence. Mercer points at the screen. That woman made me fear for my life. The state investigator answers before Ellis can. Then explain why your first report says one thing, your second says another, and your camera shows neither. Mercer opens his mouth, but nothing clean comes out. Outside the room, Lena is already live on her phone. The hallway behind her is packed with officers, clerks, and city staff pretending not to listen. Sources tell me the recovered footage directly contradicts Mercer's statement, she says. Inside, Ellis reaches for the desk phone. If he makes the next call, is Mercer about to lose more than his badge? Ellis does not pick up the phone right away. He presses both palms to the table first, like even now he wants one clean second before the room changes forever. Then he looks at Mercer and says, "Turn in your weapon." Mercer laughs once, short, sharp. "You cannot be serious." The state investigator steps forward. He is. Mercer backs away from the table. After everything I have done for this department, Ellis stands now. This department is done doing things for you. That lands harder than any shout could. Outside, the hallway noise grows. Lena hears movement inside the room and pushes closer. Officers lining the walls stop whispering. Ruiz steps forward without being asked. Keys and cuffs already in hand. Mercer looks from face to face, searching for one ally, one nod, one excuse. He finds nothing. Then Ellis gives the order out loud. "Officer Daniel Mercer, you are under arrest." When a man who always used power loses it in one sentence, what does he do next? Mercer does the one thing everyone expects and still cannot believe. He reaches for control that is already gone. "You are making a mistake," he snaps, backing toward the door. Ruiz steps in front of him. Another officer moves to the side. The opening disappears. "No," Ellis says, "last night was the mistake." Mercer's face breaks then, not into regret, into fear, real fear, the kind he gave other people and never thought would turn on him. Ruiz takes his wrist. Mercer jerks once, but there is no fight left in the room for him to borrow. The cuffs close loud. Outside the station, the doors open and the street falls silent as Mercer is led into daylight. Phones rise. Nobody shouts. That silence hits harder than anger. Lena goes live. Westbridge is watching Officer Mercer leave in handcuffs. Across the curb, Ethan stands still, eyes fixed on the man who shot his sister. No smile, no triumph, just wait. Now that Mercer has fallen, is arrest enough, or is Jennifer's fight only beginning? 3 weeks later, Jennifer takes 6 careful steps across a rehab room, with one hand on a rail and the other pressed to her side. The scar still pulls when she moves too fast. Sweat gathers at her neck. She hates that her body needs permission now for things that once felt small. "You can stop," the therapist says. Jennifer keeps going. Through the glass, Ethan watches without speaking. He has delayed his flight twice already. Her mother stands beside him, hands clasped tight, eyes fixed on Jennifer's feet like each step still carries risk. Jennifer reaches the end of the rail and turns slowly. Pain flashes across her face. Then it passes. On the wall-mounted television, a reporter reads the latest update. Mercer faces formal charges. Ellis promises reforms, review boards, and new oversight. Jennifer hears the words and lets out one breath through her nose. "Funny," she says. Now they found urgency. She takes another step. If the system only moved after cameras forced it, what does healing even mean now? That afternoon, Ethan stands outside Jennifer's hospital room with a duffel bag at his feet and his flight change open on his phone for the 3rd time. Marcus waits near the elevator. "You staying again?" he asks. Ethan looks through the glass. Jennifer is laughing softly at something their mother just said, but one hand still rests near the scar without thinking. "I do not know if she needs me here," he says. Marcus gives him a look. That is not the question. Before Ethan can answer, Jennifer opens the door and catches the bag by his foot. "You leaving without saying goodbye?" He steps in. "I was waiting until you were resting." Jennifer studies him for a second. "You always do that. Stand guard first. Talk later." Their mother slips out quietly, giving them the room. Ethan looks down. "I should have been here sooner." Jennifer moves closer, slow but steady. "You came when it counted. But is that enough for the promise he has carried since childhood?" Ethan looks at the floor, like the answer might be there. I keep hearing your voice on that recording. Jennifer's face softens, but she does not rescue him from it. I know, she says. He finally meets her eyes. Dad told me not to let you stand alone. I left this town. I left you here with people like him. Jennifer shakes her head once. You left to become who you had to become. That is not the same thing. He lets that sit. But the guilt does not move fast. Then Jennifer reaches for his hand. You kept your promise. The words land harder than anything said in the courtroom, the station, or the press room. Ethan breathes out like he has been holding air for weeks. Outside, Marcus glances up from his phone as Jennifer's mother wipes her eyes with the heel of her hand. Inside, Jennifer squeezes once and lets go. Now stop acting like the story ends with me surviving. Ethan frowns. What does it end with? Jennifer turns toward the window. If she is still thinking beyond herself, what does she want now? 2 weeks later, Jennifer walks onto a small stage at the youth center with no music, no escort, and no dramatic entrance. She moves slowly, but she moves on her own. The room rises before she even reaches the microphone. Tasha cries, first. Lena stands near the back with her camera lowered for once. Ethan stays by the wall, arms folded, saying nothing. Jennifer looks out at the crowd and waits until the room settles. I do not want to be remembered as the woman who got shot, she says. I want to be remembered as the woman who was still human before it happened. The room goes still. She rests one hand lightly near the scar. Fear is dangerous when power carries a gun. Dignity disappears fast when someone stops seeing your humanity. No one checks a phone. No one coughs. Then, Jennifer looks toward Lena. Then toward the strangers in the front row. Who kept this story alive long enough for her to stand here and say this herself? Jennifer lifts her chin and answers her own silence. My family kept me here. Lena kept asking questions when silence was easier. Strangers kept their phones up when fear told them to look away. Her voice stays calm, but every word lands clean. That mattered. It still does. In the front row, the teenage boy from Monroe Market wipes his eyes and looks down. Tasha reaches for his shoulder. Ethan watches Jennifer like he is seeing her fully again. Not as someone broken, but as someone rebuilding in public. Jennifer grips the sides of the podium. Mercer facing charges does not erase what happened. Reforms do not heal people by themselves. But truth matters. Witnesses matter. Refusing to look away matters. When she steps down, the room stands again. The next Monday, she returns to the youth center for 2 hours, seated at her old desk, helping a nervous boy fill out his first statement. Her voice closes the story, not Mercer's fall. And when the next person is told to stay quiet, will they remember Jennifer refused? If Jennifer's strength moved you, leave a comment with the word justice. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes truth needs witnesses.